The filmmakers still had to do blocking for the scene, which this basically means when the actors rehearse their choreography in front of the cameras, everything is properly placed. Alec still wasn't back from lunch at this point, so Dave ran through his blocking for him. He pulled the gun 3 times and did not pull the trigger.
Eventually, Alec walked into the church to do the scene, and Dave hands Alec the gun. And before he handed the gun to Alec, he shouted, "Cold gun." And at no point was Hannah called into the church. The camera was not rolling at this point. Helena was standing to the left of the camera with director Joel Souza behind her. They were both huddled over a camera that was being controlled by a camera operator. The first time Alec drew the gun from the holster, nothing went wrong. But the second time was a different story. Alec placed his hand on the gun and he said, "So I guess I'm going to take this out, pull it, and go bang." He drew the gun from his side out of its holster. Then he pulled back the hammer while his finger rested on the trigger. Now, we don't know exactly what happened, but the gun went off. And here's Alec's version of events from his ABC interview.
And you were rehearsing that scene. Was it an actual rehearsal? There's some disagreement about that, whether it was a formal rehearsal at that time.
This is a marking rehearsal where I'm going to show her. She's standing next to the camera. She's like this. You're me. She's got a monitor here. The camera is here filming that way. She takes a monitor that is his monitor, the operator, and turns it toward her. It swivels, and she says to me, "Hold the gun lower. Go to your right. Okay, right there. All right, do that. Now show it a little bit lower." And she's getting me to position the gun. Everything is in her direction. She's guiding me through how she wants me to hold the gun for this angle. And I draw the gun out and I find a mark. I draw the gun out, I find a cut. And what's really urgent is the gun wasn't meant to be fired in that angle.
So if you're shooting directly into the camera lens, you're not aiming.
I'm not shooting into the camera lens. I'm shooting just off.
Just off.
Right, in her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up being aimed right in below her armpit, was what I was told. I don't know. This was a completely incidental shot, an angle that may not have ended up in the film at all. But we kept doing this, and so then I said to her, "Now in this scene, I'm going to cock the gun." And I said, "Do you want to see that?" And she said, "Yes." So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, "Do you see that?" She goes, "Well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that." And I cock the gun. I go, "Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that?" And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off.
At the moment. The decisive
That was the
moment
the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
So this, what it sounds like, had there not been a live round here, this would have been yet another misfire. Mm-hmm. So I'm like questioning what's wrong with these prop guns that they're just misfiring like this. Like,
yeah. So clearly this is a horrific moment. A shot rang out through the church and Helena stumbled backwards and fell into the arms of Serge Svetnoy, head of lighting. Serge quickly helped her to the ground, and when she looked down, she saw blood gushing from her chest. Joel also fell backwards and yelled, "Jesus Christ, what the was that? That burns." And he was clutching his shoulder, which also started pouring blood. And over again, Alec starts saying, "What the was that?" And he places the gun down on one of the wooden church pews and just stared at the 2 crew members in horror. And here is a recreation of the shooting released by the Hutchins family. There's no sound for this, but it's just an animation.
There's a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
So camera turns around, it's showing the crew standing behind the cameras. They're not far from Alec. I would say maybe 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a really close shot. Crew members then started yelling, "She shot," and someone shouted for a medic. Crew members began to crowd around Helena. A sound guy said, "Oh, that was no good." Helena responded, "No, that was no good. That was no good at all." In less than a minute or so, everyone was told to get out of the church while medics got to work. Helena couldn't feel her legs, and she started to grow very pale. The bullet had gone through her right chest cavity and lung, hit her spinal cord, and then hit Joel in his top right shoulder. Alec was in shock and saying, "Who the hell gave me a live gun?" She ran over to the door and saw Joel on the floor. At first, she thought a special effects popper had gone off. Sarah ran into Hannah outside the church, and she was panicking, and she said that there was no way something was in the gun. She also said something about how this was going to ruin her career.
That says so much about her that that's her immediate thought.
Oh my God. Dave gave Hannah the gun, and Hannah dumped the rounds out of the gun and gave them to Sarah. She told Sarah to go and check the ammo box. When Sarah came back, she told Hannah that there were some bad ones in there. Hannah thought Sarah meant there were 1 or 2 other live rounds in the box, but Sarah told her that more than half of the rounds in the box labeled dummy rounds were actually live rounds. Hannah apparently thought that she'd loaded the gun with all dummy rounds. The script supervisor, Mamie Mitchell, ran outside and called 911. The time was 1:46 p.m. 13 minutes later, the fire department arrived on scene.
Santa Fe Sheriff's personnel were dispatched to the scene at 1:52 p.m. And when police arrived, they found both Joel and Helena on the floor of the church. A crowd of people were surrounding them. Joel was conscious, talking and moving, but Helena was breathing irregularly. Her eyes were glassy, and she had a fixed stare. She was still moving and could speak, but it was getting harder for her to breathe. Medics tried desperately to save her life, and it's clear that Helena fought her hardest as well. I can't imagine how confused she was in that moment. So an officer found Hannah near the church, and she was very emotional and holding the gun that was used in the shooting. She handed the gun over to the officer, and they escorted her to a squad car. He told her that she was not under arrest, but she was getting very emotional and started hyperventilating, so he would have medics see her.
Dave, do you have those rounds I gave you?
What? No. They're on the cart.
Are they?
I don't know.
Who would you give them to?
I gave them back to you.
I'll
get them.
Oh my God. I'm so. Are they okay?
Hey, Santa Fe, we need more units out here.
Huh?
I haven't been inside, I don't know.
God, oh my God.
Copy, I already notified police.
I already haven't yelled out several times. I just don't want to.
Are these the rounds here?
So, okay,
You have rounds here.
okay, no, so this is the one, I'm pretty sure, that's the one, and okay, sorry.
You're okay,
sorry.
just relax,
I'm so scared, I'm sorry.
You're all right, just relax.
So here's the box that I got them out of.
Okay, leave them right there. Leave them right there, okay? Just relax. I just need you to relax. Just relax, okay? I just need you to relax. Just please relax, okay? Just take deep breaths and relax. Can somebody get water for her?
Yeah.
So obviously the crew was pretty stunned by what had just happened, and many people had no idea what was going on at this point, just that there was some sort of misfire, and the severity of the situation was not immediately clear. Alec Baldwin himself said that he didn't even realize it was a live round and not a blank until 45 minutes after the accident. And here's him talking to the police.
Joel's doing okay. He is.
What's her story?
A little bit rougher.
201 on scene.
It was the shoulder though. On Joel. But Helena, where did it?
So hers appeared to went through her right underarm.
Yeah.
And the exit point was on her back left shoulder blade. So.
So it went across her back.
It went through. So.
Life threatening.
Oh, God.
Yeah, enough to get air flight.
So Joel was transported via ambulance to Christus St. Vincent Hospital in critical condition. Medics had to stabilize Helena in the ambulance before they could transport her via helicopter, and her condition actually did start to improve.
Meanwhile, the police started to talk to Hannah about what had happened after she calmed down. Here are a couple things she had to say.
Okay, what is your full name?
Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H.
What's your job there with them?
I'm the armor. Or at least I was. Welcome to the worst day of my life. I can't believe Alec Baldwin was holding the gun. That's so... I can't believe it.
The worst
Is
day
there
of
like
horrible.
a closer cop car you guys can put me in or something?
I
I mean, the closest one that I can put you in is one of the ones that's like the unmarked one. I just kind of wish that any of my coworkers could stop seeing me because I already feel super bad. Okay, yeah.
Too bad.
I just want to get this all out of here and never show my face in this industry ever again. Well, I wouldn't say that. Oh, I wouldn't. I'm like the only female armorer in the game, and I just f***ed up my whole entire career.
It's just like, oh, let me play victim right now.
Yeah.
When you should be concerned about the people that literally just got shot with one of your guns.
Yeah, more concerned about her career.
Yeah,
than
it seems like
the
she's
lives that could be lost. It's
right.
Fucking absurd.
Because tragically, Helena's condition ended up taking a turn for the worse. She was airlifted to the University of New Mexico Hospital in Albuquerque and pronounced dead soon after. Doctors removed the bullet from Joel's shoulder, and he was released from the hospital the next day.